Good morning, comrades, and welcome to the NÜRBURGRING Nordschleife. Well, probably it looks a bit different from the last time that you saw it, but if you follow the social media, you probably know that the NÜRBURGRING is currently closed for construction works and occasionally also for snow. But construction works is the reason number one. And I am very proud and happy to announce that it's the first time on my channel ever I will be joined and assisted by official representative of the NÜRBURGRING, who will answer a couple of your questions that you were able to ask about these construction works. So first, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello Misha, thanks for having you here on the very special stage Nordschleife. Seems like a rally stage today. I can introduce myself. My name is Alexander. I'm the press officer of the NÜRBURGRING, and in this function you know me already a long time, and we're working together for all the media you're doing officially. Thanks for that.
Thank you for granting me all the amazing opportunities to
course.
cover all the special exclusive content for you guys. What are we doing here today?
I think you wanted to do some stuff about the NÜRBURGRING and the work which is going on here, and your great community has some questions to the NÜRBURGRING, and I'm here to answer them.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so too. So, first of all, we are right now, for people who who are very fond of NÜRBURGRING, who know where we are, they can probably guess that we are at Schwedenkreuz, or actually we're approaching Schwedenkreuz. And probably the most concerned question was, let's go into specifics later on, but the most concerned questions from the people who drive the NÜRBURGRING, and they saw that the Schwedenkreuz was being renovated. Will the bump remain?
The special bump.
The special bump.
As you perhaps might know,
yeah,
I awaited this question.
I know.
Perhaps I can explain what we're doing especially. What we're doing is we are renewing the track surface, and not only the track surface, but the track with all the things that are under the track, under the tarmac. Because what we need to do is, when we are renewing a section, we do it the right way. And that means we're doing with all the things which are under the tarmac, because what we want to have good quality of the track, and we want to have it as long as possible, and that means 20 years roundabout. And so we have to do it this way, and not only to put off the tarmac and then to put on new tarmac.
So that's basically, you're also answering one of the other questions. So what's the average lifespan of the tarmac? Is roughly 20 years.
Yes, of course. Because when you have a track which is 25 kilometers long, when we add the Grand Prix circuit and the Nordschleife, you can't do every year, so you have several sections which you have to renew, and this is done. This was another question, I think, from the guys out there, how we decide what is to do.
Yeah.
And of course we are controlling the track every year, and then we decide what has to be done. This is decided also with a look into the future. So we know exactly what has to be done when. Now I want to come back to a general question, to your opener of the video, because
what's happening with the bump?
Yeah, what's happening with the bump?
Which is somewhere over there.
Which was somewhere over there. Because why I had to explain why the work is done and how we do it is to understand why the bump will disappear. Because we can't build a track with faults. I think everyone will understand this, and when you're renew the tarmac, you can't build a track with faults or with bumps which happened through the last years.
So this, again, important note, the bump was not there when the track was built in 1925 to 1927.
Yeah, of course.
And this is just something, probably, as you can see, there are a lot of trees, so probably one massive root made the bump, or the car forces, and that's why you need to get rid of that.
Yes, of course. But there's one thing which is also important is the characteristic of the track, and that means like the track is winding through the nature of the green hell. This will remain, of course, the same. So we have fixed points beside the track where we exactly know where the track was before, and there the track will be again. So there's no change of the characteristic, but of course we will have a new tarmac, a flat tarmac, and best conditions for all those out there who use the track.
Yeah. So by characteristics, you not only mean the width and the turning points, but also the camber?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so the camber will remain. That's actually, it takes quite some work into preparations. Thank you for answering regarding the Schwedenkreuz. Which other sections are being done this year?
There's one section in Kallenhard. There is one section in Metzgesfeld, in Ex-Mühle and in Hohe Acht. So okay. 5 sections where work has to be done, and it's in addition it's 2.5 kilometers of new fresh tarmac for all the motorsports pilots and all the drivers of the tourist drives who are looking forward to the new season, of course, like we do.
Absolutely, yeah. The season just ended like less than 2 weeks ago, but I think everybody is already getting cold turkey and cannot wait to access the track. Well, speaking of which, one of the most frequently asked questions as well is like when the dates will be announced. I believe you hinted somewhere at the beginning of next year. There's not the exact date, but it's people will need to wait past the holidays.
As you can imagine, as a racetrack,
yeah.
You need to combine all those users of the track and all those who are interested in using the track. That are first of all the events where we have motorsport on the Nordschleife, but also, of course, the Nürburgring is, I think, the most popular test track in the world, and so we have the testing industry. And so on, and so we have all those dates. We have to combine them together to one perfect calendar. And what most people won't know is that we have 100% usage of the Nordschleife during the season March to October, and so there's not a minute of space, and we have to puzzle this all together to one perfect calendar that everyone in the end will be happy. And of course, I know your community prefers this. The tourist rides are also a very, very, very important point of this calendar.
Okay.
You showed that to me because you're a pro in doing that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Misha is very good in doing.
Yeah.
So if you're searching someone for your band who's doing that in the background,
contact
Misha.
me.
Yeah.
My contact details are in the description below, and he's my personal manager.
Of course, I will, because this will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good. One of the other questions, which is actually pretty special, speaking of the tarmac that you're going to put on it, a lot of people know that the Nordschleife is kind of public road. Does this mean that it also has the public road specifications of tarmac?
The Nordschleife sometimes is like a public road, but as we all know, the Nordschleife is in general the most demanding track in the world, especially for motorsport events like the 24 Hours Race or the Wheel and Endurance Championship, which are taking a part here. And so, of course, we have a special tarmac. It's a special mixture because what we have here is a 92 years old track. On the Nordschleife we have 20.832 kilometers, a lot of figures, and to do this in English, sorry for that.
No problem.
And as you can imagine, we have different grip levels, or we would have different grip levels when we just put really new tarmac, like on, for example, the Grand Prix circuits on it, because then you would have a high grip, and on some section you would have low grip, and the next section, whatever, you would have different grip levels, and this is nothing we want, because this would be very, very difficult for the pilots. And so we have a special tarmac which has not too much grip and which is not too slippery. It's one, we try to have one level of grip on the Nordschleife. Of course, new tarmac is always better than old tarmac, but and this is also something we have because of all the thoughts we are having with drivers and all the users of the Nordschleife. What we know is it's good to have one level of tarmac. And so, of course, there's a special mixture for the Nordschleife, for this old but also new and modern track. And these are things which are learned by all the work which was done in the last years. And so this was another question you had, and that's also the cause we do this with our local partners like Schnorfeil, like Wurzelbau, which are doing the work together this year. These are very, very experienced companies, and so we are glad to have them here, because in cooperation with us, this is very good work. And last years show that we are always ready when we try to be ready.
Well, we have approached the end of the construction zone in Schwedenkreuz, and we are thereby also approaching the end of this interview, because you have some other appointments to attend. But we are going to go on and to check out some other sites. But before we go, I just want to show you what Alexander explained previously, how the parts of the track will remain similar once the construction works are complete. So you can see actually that although the tarmac has been scraped off, you have obviously the curbstone, which marks the barrier, and not sure if the camera can show you, but you see the original camber level as well. But we saw throughout our walk that there were lots of reference points. There's, like, for example, those interesting pink stakes in there. I saw also some GPS related devices. So everything is, as we told you, is taken very seriously. So the character will remain the same, although the bump will disappear. So yeah, maybe for good.
But I think this is a safety fact.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I think no one will be disappointed that this is a way, because everywhere on the track there are bumps, and they come through the years, and that's why we renewed the tarmac. And so I'm looking forward to a new and safe section.
Yeah, me too. I'm very much looking forward to New Year. Probably traditional wise somewhere roughly in March, because that's when the VLN practice starts. I believe the VLN date have been announced.
Yeah, we plan to finish the work on 22nd of February. That is
okay.
That is our aim.
Thanks again for this amazing opportunity. I'm very much looking forward to our next one, which we'll probably could do maybe in February when the construction works are finished.
Yeah.
Where we can go over them, and before that I will make another video for you guys where you can, when I will remind you, hey, construction works are finished, we're gonna go out next week, post new questions, what would you like to see or know.
And what we can mention is, what perhaps also for all out there who are interested of taking picture and something like that, it's important to understand that you as a big channel are asking the Nürburgring officially to do that, and you don't step on the track like every time you want to. Yeah. And I think this is always because this is a safety region, a safety area. And I ask everyone out there, just don't to do it, or like a big channel, you ask the Nürburgring officially, and then we make things happen. And thanks for this good cooperation again.
Yeah, so important to notice, do not go walk out on the track, especially not now when the construction works are happening.
Or during the winter when everyone thinks, oh, there's just snow on the track, there might be a car, perhaps a rally car or something like that. The Nürburgring is also always a safety region. That's just think about this every time.
I was thinking, is there a lap record for snow sled with snow dogs? Can we do that?
I don't know, but what you can learn from the past is there have been snow dog races on the Nürburgring.
Oh.
Yeah. So I promise you, we will show you after I will send you the photo. I have it on my computer. I will send it to Misha, and he can show you
Wow.
what it looked like when dog sledge races were on the Nürburgring. So, but this is something of this special place, the Nürburgring. There's everything. Every time there's something to learn. There's every time something new you didn't know before.
No.
Because you have 92 years of history, and I think this is what this place makes it so special, and what the work here for the Nürburgring and also with a community like yours makes it so special and so nice every day. And yeah.
Awesome. We're very excited for that. Well, if this video gets over 100,000 views, we're going to try to bring...
millions.
Or millions, yeah. We're going to bring dog races back, maybe. We're going to start a petition. Thanks for watching. And again, thank you very much for this amazing opportunity.
You're welcome.
See you next time. So one of the other updates is that Bongard will be replaced by Bungard, but only during the construction works. Then the normal service will proceed. Continue. Resume. Oh, we're going on the grass. That's not the ideal line.
It's a racing line.
Oh, okay. So James Wright will remain the same.
James Wright.
Blame James for not renovations. Right, welcome to our second location, and like mentioned previously, Alexander has left us, so I will be here alone talking you through, showing you the other construction works. So right now we are in Kallenhard, and you know that's actually the most dangerous section to have an accident, because calling is very hard here. That's my first and hopefully the only bad joke in this very serious episode. But I'm actually very happy because this is, without a joke, actually the tarmac conditions here were very slippery, and it's good to see them being replaced. So let's have a look how far they go. And you can see actually that here they are a bit more further into the stage of construction works, because they dug out a lot more tarmac here than in Schwedenkreuz. But Alexander told me that today they're gonna start digging deeper in Schwedenkreuz. Here's my knee for reference. Look at that. It's like knee deep, probably. Yeah, so far my amazing footage. Another interesting fact is that those stones, the big stones, are here, most probably, more certainly, since 1920s. So almost 100-year-old history where I'm walking on. It only makes me wonder, like, what kind of great names were driving on the track, and then walking on it right now. And of course, if you're like into Nürburgring history, you all know that, but it's kind of makes me feel a bit more special for having this amazing opportunity. On another note, apart from the bad jokes about Kallenhard and everything, did you know that in 1950s this corner was called the corner of death? Because before 1970 there were no guardrails at all, there were only hedges, and people, if their brakes failed, or if they didn't know the track, or whatever, if there was a driver mistake or technical error, you just went all the way over the barrier downhill. And I'm just gonna show you how far downhill. I think you're gonna land straight into Ventisette for some nice steak there. It's a big way downhill. Speaking of the way downhill, what we didn't show you while we were entering the track, this by the way the end, no, it's not the end of the construction zone. What we didn't show you before Schwedenkreuz, another interesting development point is Hatzenbach. And there they're not changing the tarmac, but they are not replacing, but adding FIA fences. But again, going back to the downhill part, I hope the camera shows it enough, but it's very steep downhill. So very, very steep. So the piff puff will be changed as well. Oh, we were trained for this. We played GTA.
Exactly.
Can we leave this trampoline here?
Straight to Ex-Mühle.
Yeah, shortcut. Like je Staarstrekken. Now, the next point that we have arrived to is Breitscheid, or to be more precise regarding the construction works, is Ex-Mühle. And I And many other of you guys, I'm pretty sure, are definitely very happy that this part of the track is getting a new tarmac change, because someone actually made a joke when the press release was released and NÜRBURGRING told which parts exactly will be replaced, and one of the persons commented, "Oh, it's good that they're changing Ex-Mühle because you could fit baby elephant in some of the cracks there." Yeah, exactly. And I can also say that Ex-Mühle is probably one of the most technical parts when it comes to the differences between the dry and wet line when you drive it in the wet. Because the ideal line, obviously the apex is on the inside of the track, is during the dry, but in the wet lots of rubber is on the inside of the track, and thereby makes it almost as slippy as going on the ice. So that's why you need to stay on the outside of the track when you're taking the wet line. And if you make the mistake of taking the right line, well, the inside line, the dry line, well, if you're having a rear-wheel drive car without any traction control, you can be one of the reasons why there's all the new barrier on the right side. Now, by putting the new tarmac on, you obviously eliminate this issue. So it's going to be very interesting to see how what the grip level is going to be. Whew, yeah, by walking the track you realize how steep it is. But yeah, all I want to say is that it will be very interesting how the new tarmac and the elimination of the rubber coated old tarmac will change the driving technique that you're gonna have to take while approaching Ex-Mühle towards Lauda. Let's see how far the construction works are here, but I think they're gonna stop pretty soon, because Lauda is actually very good surface, very good part of the track. Lots of cars can take that corner flat out. Doesn't mean you should. Yep, I guessed it right. The works stop way before Lauda. Woo! Oh, destination NÜRBURGRING. Oh, circuit days. 288. If you're watching this, I got your stuff. I'm just gonna leave it where it was. As we're walking back to the car, because we cannot go on, we need to drive around and then go in opposite direction to show you the last part of construction at Hohe Acht. You can see how steep the track is, because that over there is Wehrsifen, somewhere up high in the hill. Yep. And also by walking up opposite direction down to Ex-Mühle, you see the differences in height are quite severe, to say the least.
I was trying to look for one, but I didn't saw it. I resulted the red. That's amazing.
That's how we do it.
It would be such a dangerous corner if it was this way.
Yeah, it's always weird to climb Flanskaden.
Yeah.
So approaching Hohe Acht, this part was changed last year actually. So now the earlier part is getting changed. And just like Kallenhard, just like Ex-Mühle, this is the most sensitive part regarding the differences between dry and wet line. As we're on our way down to Hohe Acht, which makes it probably Tiefe Acht. Okay, the second bad joke of today. But no, I have Bruno here with me who's taking some B-roll shots. But actually, before Bruno started at Apex, and before his job before Apex,
Exactly.
he used to build roads, right? Or kind of...
Basically, I was just doing work for the people that actually do the roads. And we were
Okay.
just watching right now. This is actually one of the special features from the Nordschleife. These small powder you see mixed with stones, it's actually what allows them to have a very good base for a grippy tarmac. And also, underneath it, you can see this is actually one layer you have for geothermal protection. So the anti-frost, what we call it in Germany. And this is actually what also allows to make a perfect banking for the roads. It's very, very cool.
Nice! Learn something every day from the least expected persons.
Exactly.
The things you expect the least will happen at the NÜRBURGRING. Point proven. And now, to finalize, over there, further down, there's the carousel, and then you approach the Hohe Acht. And that's where the construction work start this time. Last year, they already finished, well, they renovated the part on top of Hohe Acht. By the way, did you know that Hohe Acht is not the highest point of the Nürburgring? Because as of 1984, it is actually a part at T13. I learn something every day. Going back to the construction works, like I told you previously, this whole change of tarmac is going to be very interesting in terms of differences of wet-dry conditions, because this part, you can see probably from here, there's lots of banking changes, and also this was also a very old part with a lot of cracks, and because of old parts, again, lots of rubber was on the tarmac, because like Alexander mentioned, every minute of the track opening of the season of the year is utilized, and there are cars driving on it all the time, and thereby some parts, when it's dry, it's very grippy, but when it's wet, because of the rubber surface from the tires of the cars that they leave them on, it becomes very slippery. I'm gonna finalize because, again, a lot of people have asked the question, and a lot of people are going to ask the question, what about all the lap times? Does it mean that the cars will be able to go faster? I mean, this is something I don't think needs any explanation, because yeah, conditions will be different for the better, for the safety. What does this mean for all the previous lap times? They will remain. You know, it's such a gray area. It's such a topic that you can ask yourself all the time. In the last decade, the tire compound, like the whole tire technology, has such a massive leap forward. So does this mean that we need to put the previous lap record holders on the new tires to see if they're still valid? I think we all just need to enjoy the fact that the tracks is becoming safer, better, and thereby probably more enjoyable for everyone. And again, also most importantly, it is an amazing fact that we can still enjoy the most demanding racetrack in the world without having to close it down because it is too dangerous. Because as you can see, every single year there is something being done to improve the safety, to make sure that it is still possible to enjoy the most demanding, but thereby the most exciting, the most fun, the most emotional, the oldest, and you name it, racetrack in the world. But anyway, I'm getting way too emotional and philosophical, so maybe that's something for next time. Feel free to ask some type of questions that I could cover in a separate video. Regarding the construction works video, I will make a reminder somewhere closer to February when we're gonna make another video with Alexander where we're gonna show to you what has been done, what the actual result is, and then you can ask a question regarding construction. To finalize, I hope you enjoyed this video, although it was pretty long, but I think if you are a real Nürburgring enthusiast, you probably haven't even noticed that it was like half an hour plus long. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Thank you, dear Nürburgring, for providing you this amazing exclusive opportunity, and I'm very much looking forward to experience these all changes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time somewhere on the Nürburgring or maybe aside.